Subscribe to my channel.
Okay guys, welcome to lesson 4 of our JavaScript series. Okay, so guys, like we said in lesson 3, that in lesson 4 we will be treating a topic called JavaScript operators. Okay, now without further ado guys, please, if you are new to the channel and just coming across this channel, please, this is Codewithtec, your #1 hub when it comes to making programming easy. Okay, on this channel we turn complex coding languages and make them more easy to beginner understanding. Whether you are intermediate or advanced or beginner, trust me, we got you covered on this channel. Okay, so guys, before going further, please hit that subscribe button and give the video a like. You can share the video to any other person you think that will have more interest in such a video. I see you guys into our beautiful and going on tutorial. Now quickly guys, here we want to create a new page. All right, want to create a new web page quickly, but before creating a new web page, I'll just go and open up some of our past work. Let's just say the past work we use for lesson 3. Okay, the past work we use for lesson 3, I'll just open it out and then we clear off some of the things in it and then we'll continue our work for time's sake. All right, so I will just come up here and open some of our files that we have. So we have strip.html and we have strip1.js. so I will open these two files now. So everything that is in there, I'm just going to take them out. Everything that are in them, I'm going to take them out completely. Good. Now I'll save it and save it as well. Good. Now if I open it into the browser just for our quick understanding and refresh it, now it have changed automatically. All right, it have changed. Now I want to get rid of this. Good. Now with that being said, for our HTML portion, we'll just call our HTML quickly, and in here we'll say JavaScript lesson 4. All right, we save this. Now if I open this up, we have our work like this. For this, we are going to be using our internal JavaScript. All right, location positioning. All right, we're not going to be putting into our external file besides. So quickly, I just want to comment out something here. So I will say strip. Now within this strip file here, I'm going to comment out some other things here. Okay, so now in JavaScript operator, before we go deeply into it, let me just give you a quick overview about what we refer to as operator. All right, what we refer to as JavaScript operators. Okay, now what we refer to as JavaScript operator, we are discussing JavaScript operator. They are operational sign that we use, or mathematical sign that we use. All right, and not just mathematical sign, but we also have some logical operators in JavaScript. Okay, so guys, for this video we're going to be working with some operators that will give you more understanding and insight on what are some of the things that we'll be doing in further lesson. So our first operator we're going to be working with today will be our assignment operator. Assignment operator. Now with our assignment operator, now let me push this up. With our assignment operator, this is how it look. All right, like this. Now the equal sign you see in between here, all right, this is our assignment operator. This equal sign that you see here. All right, now whenever you see this operator in JavaScript, they are telling you that there is a variable or a thing that they have allotting another thing into. All right, they are assigning another thing to another thing. Let's take for instance, one cool example of this will be x sign 4. All right, now if you see this in JavaScript, they are telling you that this number 4 you are seeing here, all right, they are telling you that wherever you see x, the value that is stored is what? 4. So we are assigning 4 to this value here called x. All right, now we move downward. All right, we move downward. Now this is just a quick example. Let me put it in parentheses for us. This is our example. All right, now we move downward. Now what I'm doing here is called comment. All right, Now this is our addition operator. Okay, now with this operator, it helps us to add value. All right, this operator helps us to add value. All right, now we come down, we have our multiplication operator. So guys, we're just going to run over it quickly. Now this is our multiplication operator. All right, this helps us to multiply value, right? Okay, this helps us to multiply values. All right, now we move on. Now the multiplication operator here is what we see here. All right, what we refer to as asterisk, other people refer to it as star. All right, okay, now we move on to the next thing. We want to have something like we want to have another operator that is very crucial that we look at. All right, we have comparison operators. All right, for comparison operator, they can be in greater than, they can be in less than. All right, now so for this we'll say it compares value, right? Compares values. All right, now with this operator that I've listed here, we are going to be testing them. All right, in further series we are going to be testing them. Okay, so we will test our addition, subtraction, and other operators as well. So now we come down here, we want to test our operator. We want to use the first operator, the assignment operator. All right, to use our assignment operator, we want to use them in our console log. So I'm going to open up our web browser where we have our work here. We're going to do everything into the console log. So I will open the browser, and within the browser I will come to our inspect tools now and come over to console. Now here in the console I'm going to be using everything. Okay, now the first thing we want to work with is the assignment tools. All right, now show in case we say x being assigned the value of 100. All right, and then we'll close this and come down. Now you have seen the result here is saying what, 100. Now if I say console to log and say x and close this, now if I run this code I will get 100. all right, now what JavaScript is telling me is that wherever I see x, the value 100 will be represented. All right, will be represented. So whenever I want to call this x here, x become automatically a variable. Whenever I call this, now this, whenever I call the x, 100 will always comes. All right, now the next thing we want to do in the here is we want to work with our addition operator. All right, we want to say console.log and say parentheses and say x, and then we say plus 100, and we'll close this. Now if I console log this, it will turn to be 200. all right, because x is already 100 and I just added another 100 to it, so it turned out to be 200. okay, now we want to try another thing. Okay, we want to try another thing. We want to say console the log and open this up and say x asterisk 2. all right, and say x asterisk 2 or x asterisk 4. all right, and close it. Now if we enter this, we'll get 400 because x is already being assigned a value of what, 100, and we are asking it to multiply 100 by 4. all right, so if you multiply 100 by 4, you will get 400. okay, so the next thing we want to push on to will be, we want to try console.log. we say x minus 50. all right, now when we close this, we console the log it, we have 50. all right, now sorry, earlier on I did not tell you about this I'm sorry I didn't tell you earlier on about this subtraction here. All right, now it's also part of our work. Okay, it's also part of it. When we discussing JavaScript operator, we cannot leave it out. All right, subtraction, we cannot leave it out. So I will just go back quickly and put it there. Now it just came to my mind while I was writing the code that I needed to do something on it. Now with this operator, the operator help us to subtract value. All right, this one help us to subtract value. Okay, now another operator I want to include will be the exponent, the exponential operator. All right, for exponential operator we include asterisk twice. All right, the multiplication sign we include it twice. All right, now when we come the next value we want to run out to, we say the division. Someone will ask, they say, oh, but how we do division? A division operator, good, there's it. Now this help us to divide value. All right, now we move downward, we say division remainder. All right, or modulo calculation, we're going to do it all as well. Okay, now we represent this by percent. All right, these are all operator, increase and decrease. Okay, it's another form of operator that you need to know as well. Increase is represented by double addition sign, and decrease is also represented by double subtraction sign. All right, so increase and decrement and increment in JavaScript. All right, decrement, increment in JavaScript. All right, so we just call them decrement and increment in JavaScript. All right, for this lesson purpose. All right, now so we'll be trying this value as we go on in our work. Okay, so we will head back to our browser where we are using the console log. We have worked with assigning value, the assignment operator. We have worked with addition, we have worked with multiplication, we have worked with subtraction. Now we want to work with division. All right, so we'll say console.log, console.log, and then here we want to say x divide by 8. All right, and close this. Now if I run this code, now we have 12.5. all right, we have 12.5. now x is 100, like we said from the onset, x is 100. So each time we run our code, the operational sign take effect and go on. All right, now the next operational sign that we want to work with, that, let me come through here quickly. We want to work with okay, we want to take the exponent value. After taking the exponent value, when we come, we will do comparison operator, we'll do division, we'll do modulo, we'll do increase. All right, good. Now if I come here and say console.log and say x we have used addition, subtraction, multiplication, we have used them already. We say x plus plus. All right, and close this. Okay, now if I run this code here, we have 100. All right, we have 100. Now if we take the same code here, now I want you to observe something in this place carefully and say x and say minus minus. All right, and close this. Now if I run this code as well, we have this. All right, we have 101, and we want to run this code one more time. We say console.log. Now we'll say egg, we say positive, close it and come here and press enter. Now we have the same 100. Now we want to do this by another method. Okay, we want to do this by another method. Now we are telling you say increase, we are telling you say decrease, but we are putting it on the other angle of it. That's the reason where we have minus is doing decrement, and we are finding it to be 101, and where we having positive, we are finding it to be just 100. Okay, now in further series we'll be using this example to create our own card system. All right, in further lesson we'll be creating our first own card system very soon. All right, that should be in lesson 6 or lesson 7. We'll be creating it. Now before we get through our logical operator and other things, when we start to discuss conditional statement like if statement, we are going to discuss the rest of the other operators that we are seeing here. Okay, now the next operator I want to discuss before we close the video, we'll discuss exponential. All right, we'll discuss exponential. Now we want to take console.log, we say x, and then we use asterisk and say 2. Close this. All right, now we run this. Now if we take the exponent 100 of this, now you find that we have 1201. All right, we have 1201 in this. All right, this is how we apply exponential in this just a beginner series. Okay, to give you broad understanding how we apply these things. Okay, but in further lesson we are going to be doing them in a more correct way in a real world environment. All right, so that you can have more understanding on it. Good. Now if we use this method here, like I told you, we were doing it on a reverse way. That is, we're creating that space between it. But now we are no longer doing it on a reverse way. All right, we are doing it directly. Okay, so we say console.log and then say x positive. All right, and it give us 101. Okay, now one case we say console.log and say x positive 2, and then close this. Good, and then we run it. Now we have a traceback error. Okay, we have a traceback error. All right, now in our project we're going to be giving you, we're going to be making you to understand how you can increase by 2, increase by 4, increase by 5 when we get to our push card system. All right, our push card system. So the next thing we want to do here, I want to do our last example for today. We'll say console.log. In here we want to say x minus. All right, close this. When we run it, now we have this being 102. All right, we have this being 102. But in our add to cart short system we'll be creating, you have more understanding on this. I will elaborate on it more. Okay, for now I don't want you to stress more about it, particularly the basic arithmetic that you have understood here is much more important to take you to lesson number 5. Okay, so guys, thank you very much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope that you guys have learned something. This is Codewithtec. Please subscribe, guys. Please subscribe.
Subscribe to my channel.